going to take a win for Ryan to make the playoffs. Let's take a look at tonight's starting grid, brought to you by Coca-Cola. We'll hear from the drivers.
Kevin Harvick, Bakersfield, California.
Martin Truex Jr., Mayetta, New Jersey.
Joey Logano, Middletown, Connecticut.
Brad Keselowski, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Eric Almirola, Tampa, Florida.
William Byron, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Jimmy Johnson, El Cajon, California.
Alex Bowman, Tucson, Arizona.
Ryan Blaney, Hartford, Ohio.
Denny Hamlin, Chesterfield, Virginia.
Kyle Busch, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Austin Dillon, Welcome, North Carolina.
Kurt Busch, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Clint Boyer, Emporia, Kansas.
Matt DiBenedetto, Grass Valley, California.
Cole Custer, Ladera Ranch, California.
Chris Buescher, Prosper, Texas.
Tyler Reddick, Corning, California.
Matt Kenseth, Cambridge, Wisconsin.
Eric Jones, Byron, Michigan.
Bubba Wallace, Mobile, Alabama.
Ryan Newman, South Bend, Indiana.
And you see the rest of the field show up there on the left side of the screen. Help someone on their playoff hopes. Getting ready to kick off the end of the regular season from Daytona.
Great push from Joe Logano to get Kevin Harvick out to the lead. That outside line starting to organize though. Logano jumps, tries to get up there to block it, but can't. A little bit too late there. Big run. Keselowski, Truex down the back straightaway and going into the lead.
Now Joe Logano in that 22 car. Now he is to the rear bumper. Kevin Harvick going to push that bottom line. It's going to move Kevin Harvick with forward momentum off of turn 4. Truex to the bottom of the block.
Manufacturers will work together, but when an opportunity presents itself, these drivers are going to take it. Things happen in a split second. It can change just that quickly, and those are the decisions that have to be made as well.
Truex had to go up, try to block Harvick there, who had a run off the nose of Joe Logano. Truex able to maintain the lead, but I think, again, Keselowski is going to give Harvick a big push down the back straightaway.
Now Kevin Harvick has a decision to make. Do he stay with the 2 car, or does he start blocking? If you want to run down to the bottom and block Truex, now he's driving with that mirror. Listen to the spotter, deciding what lane to go to. Now Truex is there, so Harvick too late on the block.
Yeah, that outside line's pushed 2 guys to the front. I think I'd stick with that outside line for a little bit. Look how organized and tight they are in the outside line. That's where the momentum's going to be. Keselowski, a great pusher here early on in this race in the first few laps.
Every driver talked about wanting to maintain the lead, get the lead and maintain it, because it's so hard once you get back in the pack to work your way through. So what you're seeing is these drivers getting the lead and doing everything they can to make sure they keep it.
Rick, I mentioned no practice. That's where you dial in your heights. Well, look at the 21 and the 17, both dragging their right side track bar mounts. Those sparks showering the cars behind them. Not a big concern. It obviously shows up better at night, but it is crazy to see, Marty.
It's a concern for Matt DiBenedetto. He just told Greg Irwin, his crew chief, we're hitting the racetrack way too hard. We have to get that fixed because we won't be competitive if we're like this.
All right, there you have it. The crew chief said not a concern. Matty D said, you're crazy. This is on the ground too hard. So you want to be as close as possible. Remember, you see the cars lined up. When we talk about going faster, the idea is to have the car as low as possible. You see it's not just the 21, the 24 right there, William Byron showering sparks as well.
Drivers, what's that feel like when you can feel something dragging on the racetrack?
Yeah, it's kind of violent, really. You see, it doesn't do it on the straights. It's only in the corners where the car is loaded, the car travels the most, and in the bumps, it hits those, and it really is violent. It hits really hard. As it clearances itself, then obviously it doesn't hit as hard, but it's very concerning.
And it's going to wear that part away, right, Steve? I mean, you're talking about mechanical metal parts that are going to wear away as the race goes on.
Well, that track bar mount is a thick piece of at least quarter-inch steel. I don't believe it's going to wear that away. These cars are going to have to be raised up on the pit stops.
Great push right there from Denny Hamlin on the back of that 88 car. That outside line's really been the dominant line. Last night in the Xfinity race, the bottom was the place to be, but right now the outside line continues to push people into the lead. William Byron now taking over the lead of the race from Harvick.
William Byron right there at the bottom of the cut line, and with him being the leader, those points are always going to change. If you're leading the race, we're going to assume that you're going to finish the race up there and you will be in. But every position on the racetrack is a point, and again, points are given out at the end of stage 1 and stage 2 for anyone that finishes in the top 10.
So look at this shot right here from the top of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s car. We are not normally accustomed to seeing him ride around. So right now, guys, probably just trying to avoid the wreck. He's not going to point himself into these playoffs. He's only going to get in the playoffs by winning. So I would think right now his strategy is just stay away from the pack, wait till the end of the race, and then go attack. Marty.
But he told us earlier this week, Jeff, when we had a chat with him that you were on, that, hey, I don't want to do that. I consider this first part and starting 31st kind of as a practice run for what I'll have to do later in the night. So I don't think Stenhouse planned to do this at all, to ride back in 31st. You're right. This is not what we see Ricky Stenhouse, known as one of the most aggressive drivers in the field, normally do at a super speedway race.
The one advantage that Ricky has is we have a competition yellow at lap 20, Rick, because of that lack of practice. So we mentioned all the dragging. Crew chiefs will be able to adjust their race cars, and someone like Ricky Stenhouse won't have to worry about it, although we may not get the lap 20 as we see the 27 coasting to a stop here. Unfortunate for the 27. Crew chief Todd Parrott on top of the pit box for the 27, making his 700th start as a crew chief, 31 career wins, some Daytona 500, some Brickyards, a championship with Dale Jarrett, a veteran of the sport.
J.J. Yeley behind the wheel. 43-year-old from Phoenix, Arizona. Issue for him.
This caught my attention right here. You see Ryan Preece, left hand out the window, 200 miles an hour, a couple feet to all the cars, one hand on the steering wheel. Guys, I didn't know if he had a problem or was just trying to go to the back of the pack. Seems like he just wanted out of that pack.
Yeah, you just see the racing up front is ridiculous. We're coming to a competition yellow. It's the first stage. You'd think these guys would be taking care of their cars, but man, they're putting themselves at a lot of risk. Fun to see. I don't know how long it could go on before there's a mistake and some carnage.
We see Matt DiBenedetto in the 21, that fluorescent yellow, number 21, now in the middle, kind of stuck in no man's land.
Yeah, Logano ahead of him. He jumped to the middle and trying to make a forward advance. See how that works? And Hamlin, now he's in the middle. Now you got a really good line of cars formed up in this middle line.
I think Hamlin wanted to go to the middle there, but now he's forced into the center, getting some help.
3 wide now at Daytona. There goes Eric Jones in the 20.
And 3 wide for many, many rows. Not a lot of comfort in the middle, not a lot of air on your car. What does Brad Keselowski do? Does he block the middle? Does he block the bottom? He's trying to block them both right now. Trying not to let either lane really get on his quarter panel.
Yeah, Truex was trying to put him in the middle, trying to drive underneath him. Early in this race, it's always interesting to see if the middle lane's going to work. Drivers are learning what their cars can and cannot do.
You see that right in the middle. Denny Hamlin, 196 miles per hour, mere inches away from the cars on his left and right. You're watching the Coke Zero Sugar 400.